What's going on, guys? Texas Track Dad. We are in the building. We got a hot show today. We got the Golden Valley High School camp in the building today. We got they're going to be the coaches, track and field coaches of the Golden Valley High School. We're going to talk about jumps today. We're going to get into a high jump. We're going to get into long jump, triple jump. We might talk a little bit of sprints. I don't know. But we're going to talk some jumps today. But before we do, go ahead and follow me on my YouTube page. The link is in that description. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. Also, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, IG, LinkedIn. Go to any social media site, put in Texas Track Dad, and hey, follow me on there. And also, shout out to my guys over there at Trackborn. If you're looking for any track and field equipment, shot put, discus, need hurdles, a starter stand, anything, holler at my guy over there at Trackborn. And also you can put in Texas Track Dad, and that will get you a discount. What's up, coaches? How y'all doing out there?
What's good? How's it going out there?
Hey, I seen them rings on IG. I see y'all doing some things.
Right.
That Golden Valley Ice, I like that. I like that. So coaches, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves and just let them know what you coach. Just give us a little history about yourselves.
Can go first? Well, my name is Jelani Davis. I'm the head coach. I've been here at GV for about 7 years as the head coach. I've been coaching high school and youth for probably over about 12 years now. So that's pretty much me in regards to that. I coach primarily the sprints and relays.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm Ron White. I'm one of the long and triple jump coaches. I've been coaching now, and trying to help out with sprints again. And just work to make the team and hope get the team a little better each and every day.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Yeah. Coach Will Humphreys. It's my 12th year coaching, 3rd year at the high school. I coach high jump and assist a little bit in the sprints and long jump, triple jump, but mainly high jump for my main thing. And yeah, I love it. I feel fortunate to be with such a great staff.
Nice. Yeah, it seems like a lot of experience there. So let me ask you this. Hey, I'm trying to get my 100-meter time right because I'm thinking about going to this Masters. So right now I'm at a solid, probably about a 17.5 at 100. Y'all think y'all give me some advice? Like, no, let's not talk about that. We ain't gonna talk about that. But
we got a youth program for that.
I can see y'all pulling me to the side. Hey, Texas Track Dad, this might not be for you, man.
Right. Yeah.
But y'all been doing some good things. I see you had some athletes in the USA top 10. Can you tell us a little bit about those athletes?
Yeah, so we had 8 athletes in the Athletic.net's end of the season US top 10 list. So we had Elijah Ellis. He jumped 24.5. Senior boys long jump. That was US number 9 win legal. We had Kylie Davis at 20 feet 4.5 inches for senior girls long jump. That was US number 2 win legal. We had Megan Humphreys, 18-10 sophomore girls long jump, US number 6 win legal. Megan again in the high jump. She jumped 5'9". That was a sophomore US girls number 4 high jump mark. We had Terrain Wiggins in the discus, 198 feet 11 inches. That was US number 10 for senior boys discus. We had Dania Curry, 53.69 junior girls, US number 7 win legal in the 400. And we had Dania again in the 200 meters, the junior girls 200 meters. She ran a 23.82, which was a US number 10 win legal, but she also had a US number 8 junior class 9 win legal mark, or PR 23.45. And then last but not least, we had our girls 4x1 relay. They ran a US number 6 time with a 45.82. And they led the state of California the whole year as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was a good season.
Nice. Hey, y'all doing a good job.
Mhm.
We had a couple listed on that California mile split as
Yeah,
well.
we got 6 athletes. You want to tell them about that? The athletes on the mouse split team.
Yeah, they pretty much
See that name?
Kylie Davis, Elijah Ellis, Megan Humphreys, Adanja Curry, Tayaja Fan, and Terrain Wiggins. All of them pretty much made the mouse split California All-State team. And, California, just like Texas, it's a lot of heat out here and very competitive weekly. There's no easy rounds once we get to like our CIF or California Interscholastic Federation, basically our playoffs. It's pretty tough, pretty pretty tough to get through the rounds, especially here in the southern section, here in like LA County, Orange County, stuff like that.
Yeah. I know some stiff competition down there as well. I definitely get that. So let's hop into this. Some of these topics we have here. So long jumper versus triple jumper. Is there a difference between the athletes, and can a long jumper be a successful triple jumper? Excuse me. And the reason I ask that because majority of the time, long jumpers are typically your sprinters. They're fast, right? And triple jumper, I'm not a jump coach. It's just me. I'm just TexasTrackDad. They more powerful, more technical type deal. So can a sprinter, do y'all feel a sprinter can be a successful triple jumper? Can they slow down enough to get those 3 jumps in? What do y'all think?
Yeah, I think they can. But history has kind of shown, like you say, that a long jumper, for the most part, brings that speed element to the event, and they obviously go ahead and do the one jump. One of the things I think for triple that's a little different is because both of them have to slow down a little bit. It's very rare that you see a kid full speed at triple. It's just not that common at all. It's very rare. It'd be very difficult to come down on that one leg at full speed, even if you're not running, those 10 5s or whatever. So there is a difference. And one of the things I like to look at is the balance component and the lower body strength component versus just the speed, because it's about keeping that balance, keeping that rhythm. And it's a difficult thing to do. You bring in all these other little technicalities to get the distances that you want. So it is different. But to answer your question, a sprinter can be, as long as they have the right skill sets and are willing to learn something a little bit different. If you work a little bit harder, I think it's a little bit easier for a long jumper to bring their natural ability and go out and pop a 22 or 23-foot jump. But they still have to work at it. They both have to work.
Yeah. That's a good answer, Coach. Good answer. I also heard, I don't know if it's true or not, like sprinters, they hate to leave the ground. They hate to. Have y'all heard anything like that as far as jumping or whatever?
One of the things I've seen in the past is some of those kids that have that exceptional speed or that really good pop, what I call pop, the elevation. They get up high and they realize, whoa, I've never been up this high before. And it's kind of weird coming back down, because I'm in the air so long. That can be a little scary. Gotcha. And that's why at times as a coach, we've got to be careful about how we progress those kids, because, you start, again, bringing these elements into it, and they're not used to being that high or going that fast, and it's a whole different feel for them. Sometimes it's, like I said, it's a little bit intimidating, so they kind of got to get used to that, and we got to bring them a little bit slower.
Yeah, I like to add to that too.
Yeah, go ahead.
A lot of kids that say they come up through youth track and then they get to high school, and they may be super fast, but they've never tried foot events because they've been steered the whole time to the sprints, because that's the sexier sport. That's getting everybody lined up against the fence going crazy, and they're just steered away from that. But they may have crazy talent, in the jumps, but they haven't been exposed to it. So by the time they get to high school, it might be a little tougher to get them over there. Or they might have it up in their mind built in that they can't do that. But they, they might be great at that. And, our philosophy is let's kind of try everything, because you never know what you're going to be good at. You might find new things you're good at. And as far as like what we try to do too is we try to get all of our kids to college as many as we can. We've been really good with that the last few years, getting our kids into college with scholarships. Parents aren't paying for any money. But if you can say you're good in 2 sprints, but if you can add 1 or 2 other things, a field event, and be pretty exceptional, it's just going to help your chances. You're more versatile to a college. So, we do encourage that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
From a head coach standpoint, like looking at all of the athletes all of the track athletes as athletes instead of just only a long jumper, or only a triple jumper, or only a sprinter, and develop them to be the best athlete, best version of themselves. And then we're able to put them in events that they can, flourish in and be more successful in. Especially I like to say like our second tier sprinters. They may not be as fast, but they have exceptional athleticism, whether it's like the jumping ability or they're coordinated in their running capability or their mechanics. They could be a better triple jumper. They're more technical of a runner, but they're not as fast. And so that's where we try to say, okay, you know what? You could specialize here, but then be more of a second tier sprinter or hurdler or whatever, or pole vaulter. And we try to figure out, okay, we get to know that athlete for that specific event, and then we dial in and train them up. So everyone has the possibility to be the best version of themselves, but we as coaches have to make sure we're really good at identifying their talents and then using it to the best of that athlete's abilities.
Coach, I'm telling you, you made a great point. And I knew this was going to happen. I'll make all these questions out and I get stuck on one topic on the first question. But I think I feel that's important, that coaches are able to evaluate athletes and get them in the event where they're going to be most competitive, right? And not keep them in the event because their parents want them in an event, or because they want to be in that event because they think their ability is greater than it really is. But I do believe it's very important, and I'm glad y'all. Hats off to y'all for being that type of coach. Is paying close attention, because when it comes to recruiting, you gonna have to put up the numbers if you want to go to a certain school. And good job getting them kids in the right events. Hey, that's cool. I'm gonna get off there right now. I'm gonna get off that topic right now. Let me ask you this: what are the characteristics of a good jumper, or are there any characteristics? Like I'm seeing, because I know a lot of jumpers. I've been around track and field since my daughter started running since she was 5, and I've seen these girls grow up, and a lot of the jumpers I have seen and I know they have a background in gymnastics. What do y'all think? Is that a characteristic of a good jumper? Or just give me some, what's some of the characteristics of good jumpers to y'all?
You want to go down the line?
I mean, I've definitely.
For me, speed, some pop, and with regard to high jump, having a gymnastic background could be helpful, but it doesn't really matter. If anything, with a rotation over the bar, but it doesn't always equate, Yeah, so we just go there.
I mean, I believe it could be helpful. We've had some success with dancers and athletes that have done gymnastics, especially in pole vault, and maybe our better triple jumpers have had that background. I would definitely say that. One, because a lot of what they do in those 2 sports, they do a lot of jumping and some of the similar types of movements and things like that. So they can relate to the coaching philosophy or the cues when we're talking about that, which ways to land on their feet or how to get their knees up or toes or dorsiflex and things like that. They're easier or more coachable when they come into a track and field culture or training session, especially if it's relatively new to them, especially with those two events, because you don't see many youth doing that, especially pole vault and in triple jump.
Yeah, cool. For
Yeah,
the people, yeah, go ahead.
I was just to add to that, some athletes that are, well, we'd like to see the athletic athlete, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
At least that's what the trend has been that I've seen over the years, is those kids that are more comfortable, like you say, leaving their feet, driving their arms, driving their knee. Those are typically the more athletic kids. So they're able to adapt to the instruction that we provide. We're asking them to do, a left, left, right, or a right, right, left, or whatever it is they're going to try to do with triple. Now, having said that, I haven't had a whole lot of gymnastics background with some of the kids. I've seen that more on the pole vault side, just because of that issue of getting over a bar and completely flipping over. But I think that athletic component is really key for triple jumpers, that imbalance and lower body strength.
Yeah.
Some kids that are really fast are just naturally fast, and they can really turn that into an exceptional long jump mark. But it takes a little more, I think, attention to detail and technical aptitude, if you may, along with athleticism to be a successful triple jumper.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of technique involved in that. A lot of technique. I know this is one of my questions on here. I think it's toward the bottom of my list, but since we're talking about triple jump, the long jump right now, which jump, either triple or long jump, has the worst impact on the body? And what I already know, I think I know the answer. I think I know the answer. But
I was like, which one do most parents try to steer their kids away from?
It's definitely
and what type of recovery do y'all recommend for whichever one y'all pick? Go ahead, but I know which one it's gonna be.
It's definitely got to be triple jump. In regards to recovery, one of the ways that we really try to do that is to minimize the steps and their impact in regards to the jumps, and like kind of stretch it out throughout the season a lot more than trying to just make an impact at the beginning of the season in regards to their approach. And we want to make sure that they're getting fully recovered. We put a little bit more emphasis on just the mechanics per se, to basically make sure that they're not harming themselves or getting injured. And we do more of the strengthening for the lower body in the weight room to alleviate from more of the jumping and the pounding that the triple jump does, that it brings. It's going to bring it regardless, but we try to minimize those jumps, or especially early in the season and the fall as well. But just getting those skills and drills properly, that's the biggest deal that we really try to stress.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, no, that's exactly it. And one of our challenges too is, when you get that athlete that's willing to put that extra time and effort in, they want to work out every day, every week, every month. And, we've got to, it's one of those things where you want to let them loose and do all the things they want to do, but we've got to hold them back from damaging themselves, only because they're trying so hard and don't realize that body needs time to recover.
Yeah.
So we're not jumping, we're not trying to jump, 3 times a week, because it just takes too much of a toll over time. Trying to save the shins and still trying to keep their strength up and keep their speed up. And so all those pieces are key. And it is a challenge at times. Like I said, you get that kid that really wants to do something every day of the week, 10 hours a day, and you got to tell them, look, hold off. Just we'll get you there. Yeah. How come we're not in the pit today?
We're gonna jump today.
Yeah, and you're right. Y'all have to manage that, because a lot of times these jumpers, they have other events too, and
Yeah.
that
Right.
can be a strain on them too. If you know how sprinters, they sometimes it get tough for them, and then they have to go jump, and you got to be careful. You got to be careful not to overtrain and
Right.
not do too much. You're
The other
exactly
key
right.
with that
Go ahead.
too, the other key with that, like say like a talented sprinter who also jumps, it's like, we want to watch the wear and tear on their body, but also, as the coach was saying, we want them to train to learn how to do everything properly so that maybe they only take 2 jumps. They take 2 jumps, they execute it perfectly, hopefully, and they move on
Hmm.
and don't do the other 2 and go kill it in the sprints. So that's where it's
Hmm.
key with, starting with short approaches and learning to do the reps right and kind of getting that down so that you execute with the least amount of stress on the body, physically, mentally as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. Go
just
ahead.
it's really about just protecting athletes from themselves. We love the aggressiveness and the eagerness to want to go break records and PR every week and things like that. But the goal is to protect the athletes from themselves and, just get to the next week or the next meet, and, just continue the progression a little bit less aggressively, but without taking that competitive edge that these athletes have. Because, a lot of the jumpers, they have that mindset of like, I'm about to go get it,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we're like, go get it, but let's if we can get it in that 1 or 2 jumps, let's get it there, and then we can shut it down and go do something else and just practice, get ready for next week.
And that's what I was about to ask you too, because y'all have to manage their jumps at the meet, because you got the first round and you have the finals. So let me ask you this: so they jump. So most of the time you get 3 jumps the first round or whatever. So if they jump good enough on their second jump to advance to the final round, do y'all tell them, hey, you're you're done for this first round, you'll pick it up the next round, or do y'all let them jump that last time?
90% of the time, 90% of the time, we were able to get them to shut it down.
Yeah.
Outside of, especially when it's meets and when we can't be on the field,
Mm-hmm.
it is very difficult sometimes to get that athlete to get off the runway and go do something else and put the pants on and sweatshirts on and all of that and shut it down. So, especially when it's sometimes it may be that senior that wants to go get that last record or that
Mm-hmm.
league record or whatever it is. You want to really make sure that it's really like right on the edge of like,
Yeah.
you want to see it because you want to see their success, and then but you want to also protect them from themselves to be able
Mm-hmm.
to beat in the next meet or in their next event.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And for the folks that are watching, if y'all have any questions or anything for the coaches, go ahead, drop them in the comments over there. So I know, Coach, you want to talk about high jump a little bit. We don't hear much about high jump, but it's a big event. It's big in the sport. What does it take to be a good high jumper? Do y'all normally have like basketball players who do the high jump, or what do y'all think about this high jump?
So yeah, we do have a lot of basketball players that come out. Sometimes they're really good. Sometimes they're okay. One of the issues
Mm-hmm.
with just a lot of kids in general, like let's use boy basketball players. They can jump really high, but many times they're often scared to go over backwards. So because of that, they're kind of sitting up in the air instead of like turning their body backwards, and that can be a problem. Sometimes you can't overcome that,
Mm-hmm.
But with regard to what we're looking for, just again, an athlete. That's the best type of kid would fit over there. Someone who's fast, has some pop. Body weight doesn't really matter. Like some kids super skinny, some kids are pretty built, but they can still get bendy. And really a kid who is just mentally tough, because that's a challenging event. It's you against the bar, the height's going up, you have to run, have to contort your body, go over backwards, and it can be kind of scary. So it varies, I guess.
Nice. And I seen on here. Yeah, go ahead.
That coachability, they have to be willing to do the small things, like especially when it comes to triple jump and high jump, pole vault, especially those jumps. Like, you have to listen to the coach's advice and be more of a listener first, and then take those cues and apply them in every training session to be better. Especially in high jump, you have to attention to detail is so important. The rate of speed coming out the back when you're going to go jump and all of that. You have to make sure that they're on point with the instruction, because anyone could go try to make an attempt, but it has to be like technically savvy for their utmost success.
It's a very technical event, so it's like if you get a high IQ kid, and that's not necessarily book smarts, but just high IQ. You say basketball players, like a better basketball player is a kid who has a high basketball IQ. What's related to high jump. If they can, get what the coach is saying, if they can break down, like understand what's been asked of them with regard to all the different technical aspects, and really understand, take to heart why they're being asked to do all these different things with their body, and they can process that, challenge themselves. If they can handle that, that's probably going to be a really good high jumper.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and it's just strange, man. You never really just hear about these good high jumpers,
Honestly, that's one of the reasons the whole GB jumps was created, not necessarily just for high jump, but the jumps in general. Like again, you go to these track meets, like you go to these AAU and USATF track meets in the summer. Everybody comes rushing down and they're doing the sprints and the field events, the jumps, they kind of get overlooked. So that's why we created this social media page for GB jumps, just to kind of shine a light on the jump events, including the pole vault as well.
Yeah. And y'all doing a great job of that. Are y'all seeing an increase in pole vaulters now? More people want to try to do it.
On our team this year, like last year, I believe we had 6. We currently have 14 this year.
It's crazy.
So we definitely are getting more pole vaulters. I believe that they're a different type of athlete, but like they're fearless. I believe anyone who wants to run and have a pole and jump over another pole and land on a mat. They are very very courageous.
Yeah.
One of his questions at the first practice is normally like, "Hey, who here wants to try skydiving?" Kids raise their hand. Oh, yep, you're a pole vaulter.
Yeah, that's a good one right there. Yep, that's a good one. That's a good one. You hit it right. That's definitely brave, because I can't do it. I just seen them poles break and some fall, miss the mat. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. So teaching athletes the importance of developing a growth mindset. Let's hit on that a little bit.
So I'll start now. I want you to take it over. So one of the things I noticed, this is my 3rd year with the team, and when I came over, I knew a lot of the athletes from youth track, and one of the things that surprised me at the high school level was like, these are some elite youth All-American level athletes who, of course, would be some of the best in their state, if they're All-Americans across the country. But one of the things I noticed is a lot of these kids struggled with just the mental aspect, of being the best or whatever, just competing in general, like all kids, all kids are a little, I shouldn't say all kids are a little obscure, but a lot of kids struggle with that, with the mental aspect of competing, being challenging others, competing, challenging themselves, and seeing that, and then also with COVID going on, which was when I came in, there was a push across the country on just dealing with mental health, and I saw how our kids were affected. So we started this program for Mindset Mondays, and we would have like little videos or things for the kids to read that would deal with developing a growth mindset and just strong mental aptitude, and just so they can kind of learn on like what it takes and kind of build that up to make themselves stronger mentally and able to compete and able to deal with pressures, whether it be on track or field or at home in the classroom, etc., in real life. And take it from here.
Yeah, and so we just pretty much installed this system, and where we're able to talk things out and discuss pretty much any increment of success is fine. You need to celebrate those things. If it's just a minor PR, even if it's not a PR, but it's a PR mentally, like, hey, consecutive, sets that you completed. Like sometimes, in a public high school setting, you get some athletes that have never done a sport before. And so you're basically teaching young men and women to celebrate their small increments of success. Like last week, one young lady was, unable to complete, say the workout was 3 times 300, she was unable to complete that. But the following week, she was encouraged based on the growth mindset conversation we had amongst her peers and showing her times. And after we ranked and published the times and things like that, and they're able to see like, okay, you know what, I can do this, and then it just spills over into the rest of the team. And then now you're getting PRs in all of the testing, whether it's standing long jump, standing triple, 300-meter test, fly 60s, fly 30s, whatever the case may be. You're getting these small increments of success, and then it's like grows throughout the team. And then the team culture begins to snowball into a whole lot of success. And then everyone within the school and in other programs want to be a part of it, and then so that's part of what we do with our social media, where we're able to celebrate their success, whether it's the GPAs, their PRs, and other things that they may do in their other sports and their other extracurricular activities as well. So it's not all about track, but we're celebrating that person, and it spills out into our team where they're wanting to work for one another and be better, and then be more successful individually, and then we get that as a coaching staff success for the program. So that mindset Monday, that mindset progression is throughout the year. It's not just, and throughout their entire career as well. So it's not just, during track season, we only keep track of our kids. I mean, you're here for 4 years, you're and beyond, we celebrate your successes, whether it's in track or not. So it's that mindset, that growth mindset, to always be better in everything that they do.
Yeah, I'd like to just comment on that real quick too. I think part of our role as coaches is it's not just track. These are life lessons, and these lessons can carry over, like Coach just said, not only in different aspects of track, but aspects of their lives. So whatever it is that they learned, as a teammate, as a team member, developing new habits to be successful in the 100, long jump, triple jump, height, whatever. Those lessons, at least our goal, is have those lessons move over into their lives, so that when they decide to become that engineer or that doctor or that plumber or that electrician, those same habits that they learned right here on this track are going to carry over into their lives. And that's where, for us, it's really important for us to not only just get them through these 4 years, but still be a part of their lives after they've gone to college and gotten out. Because again, there's nothing better for me to hear a kid say, Coach, remember when we had that conversation about this or that, or we learned, whatever it is we learned, all that, you were right. Or yeah, now I'm better at this because of the habits that we created on the track. So, a lot of times I know, we talk about our successes as a team and our track accomplishments, but it really is more than that. And that's where all this, like you say, helping them out with these conversations and challenges now, get them where they hopefully need to be and want to be later in life.
Because also at the end of the day, many of us, like coaches everywhere in any sport or whatever activity, we spend most of the time with the kids than they do with their parents. You know what I mean? So making an impact on their lives, their day-to-day lives, and helping them with struggles, maybe academically or home things, or letting them know like the stresses that they're going through are just it's a season of stress, in their lives, or a season of situations that they may feel that's not very positive, but at the end of the day, they're going to overcome those things. They're going to overcome those things in regards to that. And so we as coaches and as a staff, we feel like having these relationships outside of just only track and talking about high jump and triple jump and, sprinting here and make sure they keep their drive phase and all these different things. Like we have to know these athletes as people and respect them, as such, and just build them up, because it's an educational environment in a high school, and that's what comes first, is just teaching. So it's not just teaching track, it's teaching some of everything.
I'm gonna tell you right now, what y'all call it, Monday mindset? Is that what it was?
Mindset.
Mindset. Hey, y'all some good coaches. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of coaches, I'm not gonna say a lot, I'm gonna say some. Some don't focus on the mental part of it. Some focus about the physical part. You never know what a kid got going on. Yeah. You never know. You don't know what's going on at home. They might have issues at home. They might have, because I'm just gonna be real. Track parents, we put stress on our kids. I mean, sometimes we don't need to, but sometimes, hey, come on, let's go. And that's, I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot for kids, man. It's a lot. I learned through the year. Hey, I was bad when my daughter was younger, but I have learned through the years, and she's less stress I give, the better she is, But I had to learn that, I had to learn that.
That's something like us as coaches and kids, like we're all evolving, we're all changing, we're always growing. So, we're gonna keep learning, they're gonna keep learning, we're gonna keep growing together.
And one of the biggest things I believe, I mean, it's a little different from what we were just talking about, but the adjustment from a youth athlete to going to high school is pretty different. Like they're, as a youth athlete, you go to school, you go home, you may have your little snack or whatever, and then you go to practice later in the evening. Well, in high school, you got to know when to eat, how to manage you're asking 13, 14, 15, 16, 17-year-old kids to manage their eating habits throughout the day and then go straight to practice at 2:30 after doing maybe AP classes or all these classes that they've had throughout the day and activities, and then now go do some physical activities like right after. It's a learning process for a lot of these kids. No matter how talented they may have been at the youth level, as a coach, you have to know, okay, did they eat properly? What are they eating? Are they probably eating hot Cheetos or something like that they don't need to be eating, throughout the day, and then they come out and try to practice, and then now it's next level type practices than the youth practices or whatever. And so, it's a learning process for these young athletes to know how to eat and get their nutrition right and sleep, and balancing, classes and other activities they may be doing and stresses and all of that. And so it's just these are the things that we talk about though within our Mindset Mondays and stuff like that, is we really want to tackle the small things so they don't get, they snowball into bad situations for them.
Nice. Yeah. Hey, y'all right on it. Mindset Mondays. Hey, coaches, if y'all don't have that, implement it. But can't use their name. Thinking Thursdays or something. Thoughtful Tuesdays, or you can't use mindset Mondays though. It's already so technology, how that help y'all better y'all's training, and what type of new technology are y'all using, or are y'all using any new technology at all?
I mean, we regularly use Freelab to do a lot of our testing, a lot of our fly testing and stuff like that, fly 100s all the way down to fly 10s. We also post a lot of our things within our coaching staff, and we show the kids their progressions in the testing, so they can see, where they are, what they're projected to have as far as their times in the 400 or whatever the case may be, whatever their event is, so they can really see like where they are amongst their peers on the team. What we're looking at as coaches from the staff going into the next season, and then we're showing them, like, based on their commitment to attending practice regularly, and whether they're missing practice or not, you can see where those dives in progress are, because you're not practicing regularly. For instance, on Saturday, that's a different type of practice that's in the programming, and they're not going to see the benefits of coming to practice they're not going to see the benefits of by not coming to practice in their results. So we like to show them where they are in their progressions, but we also use what else do we use?
So to say, so with regard to like showing them, like we literally show them, we record a lot of the reps with video.
Yeah.
So it's so funny because there are kids that just swear they're killing it. They got the form and everything. Look at this. The kids will see themselves on video and just fall out laughing. Have no idea. They say, okay, now this is what we're trying to correct. But the video is very instrumental in helping fine tune and letting the athlete see exactly what you're doing and like what we're trying to get to. You know what I mean? So that's one of our biggest tools, most helpful.
Now, coaching education, is it important to keep up with that? Make sure y'all updated on all the new stuff and going to the most updated coaching classes, going to clinics. What do y'all think? Is that staying updated on coaches education, is that important? What do you think?
Absolutely. I mean, here we have the LA 84 training that we're able to do here. Then we also have many of our coaches are all either USA Track and Field Level 1 certified, but we have 4 on our staff, I believe, that are Level 2. So we're always looking forward to, enhancing our education, looking at videos, purchasing other college coaches' videos and courses and things like that to get better every year, and breaking them down and, sharing them amongst each other to figure out how we're going to attack the next season, and learn from our bad habits. I believe many coaches, they get stuck in their just in their tool shed and not want to develop, better habits to be more efficient, and just trying to do it the way that their coach taught them, or the successes that they had 3 or 4 or 5 years ago, where some of those things are actually absolutely necessary to do. But I think there's always ways to be better, to be more efficient with time, not wasting your coaching staff's time, your team's time, or anyone, your parents' time that, they're out there waiting. When practice is supposed to be over, it needs to be over at 5:30 if you say it's 5:30, and there's ways to make sure that you're most efficient in everything, in scheduling and programming, and within all the events that you're coaching, and that's what we try to stress that within our own team, and we're getting better at it, but I don't believe we're perfect, but we definitely want to make sure that coaching education is always a necessity to go over at the end of the season, or whether it's by video or looking and breaking down our own film videos. That's our own in-house coaching education, and breaking down our own previous training plans. Like, what can we do better to be more efficient than last year? there's always something there.
Yeah.
I want to add that to relation to
Yeah,
the
go ahead.
athletes. But this is just my third year at the high school level. And for me, one of the things I realized, like out here, we're not a private school or a public school. So public schools, can't really recruit and all that kind of stuff. So as a coach, you get what you get. Like, kids out here, the parents send their kids to a school, they get what they get. If they got bad coaches, that's what they're stuck with. We get great coaches, but we get what we get. We get the kids we get. So our job is to coach them up and get the most out of them. So that's where it's important to be continually growing, learning, so that we can put the kids in the best position with the better knowledge we have to get the most out of them. So it's very important as well.
Yeah, I know for jumpers, and I'm not sure if this is a trend or what, but I know out here we get some families that they really pumping up their kids, which they should, and they want to give their kid every tool, every advantage they can to be better. And so what can happen sometimes is those kids at an early age get coached up pretty well, either through private lessons or whatever. So by the time they get to high school, some of these kids are actually pretty well trained. So for us as coaches, we need to really expand our horizon too, so that we're not just assuming that everyone comes in is really at this lower level, because some of these kids might be at a higher level as they enter high school. So we have to be flexible enough and be willing to take those extra courses and do those extra things to be able to coach that kid that's up above a little, everyone else. So again, just keeping us in line, that keeps us kind of in track too. We're not perfect. Sometimes we gotta go looking for things, but we do the best we can to keep up with what's going on in the industry and within that sport. And the end result is having, like what we just had, a bunch of kids qualifying for some good things in state and national.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That coaching education is important, because I'll tell you what, these kids are getting fast. They're getting faster and faster. It's kind of like almost a new breed of athlete out there in track and field. You got middle schoolers running high school times. All right, it's just some of it's mind blowing. And like you said, when that middle school kid goes to high school, coaches got to know how to deal with it. Because if they don't, it's kind of going to be offset a little bit, because they might still be getting training from their trainer. And let me ask you this: outside training, do y'all? So just say star freshman comp, right? They've been getting training from their training they've been with since they was 10 years old, right? Trainer reached out to y'all. Hey, I've been training her. This is what we do at practice. Do y'all take that in consideration and say, okay, he's doing this. He worked on this with her 2 days ago. We need to make sure we don't overdo it. Do y'all look at that type of stuff, or is it type like, well, we already got our plan set and we're going to stick with that?
It really is all about communication.
Okay.
It's about the athlete first. It's that athletes first, and what we see in that athlete and how they're going to contribute to our program. So if, say, for instance, that athlete is a 2-4 runner, and they have outside training, it is in that athlete's best interest for the coach, high school coach, and the trainer or club coach to have communication with, the parents, the athlete, and our coaching staff. Now, I believe that the athlete's commitment to the high school program sets precedence over the club, especially in season. But as long as there's like a unified commitment to the athlete and not the club coaches or the high school coaches' ego or personal gain or whatever, in a sense where, the athlete gets success, I think it has to be about the athlete first. So it's accepted to a certain level. And it really also depends on, who that club trainer is too. Like, you would have to say, like, all right, they're credible in regards to their successes that they've had with other athletes or in a certain program as well. I don't think people should just say, hey, that's my club coach. Like, okay, but how long? What's the coaching education like? What type of results has that coach had from other athletes or things like that in the past over what duration of time, and how does it fit our agenda for that athlete and for our program? So it all has to mesh, and if it doesn't mesh, of course it gets messy and things like that. So it all starts at communication.
I agree with y'all. It's about communication, and everybody need to work together for the best interest of that athlete.
Right.
That's just how it is. But you're right. Yeah, do y'all talk to y'all's athlete about social media, keeping it clean, and things like that?
All the time. One of the things we're trying to stress to number one, have social media. Number one, ask your parents. At our school, we're on Twitter, but we're bigger on Instagram. But we want to, number one, we want to lift up our kids, so we show all the great things they're doing, all the PRs. As Coach said, their academic success that we have our more than an athlete or scholar posts when they get 3.5 or higher GPA, because we want to show that they're not only just talented athletes. Some of these kids are incredibly smart as well. But have social, keep it clean. One of the big things we're on now is for these kids just to help our juniors and seniors. They reach out to college coaches. It's not like the dating scene where you're being courted. You got to wait for them to contact you. Hey, reach out to them, slide into their DM, tell them you're interested in them in their school rather, and try to start a dialogue so that you can arrange a visit, or when you see them at these meets later this spring, you already have a relationship with them. But we're real big on that, and it's really been pretty awesome. It's our social media, we feel like it rivals some of the college program social media and some of the higher level high school social media campaigns. And it's pretty funny too, because we've had a lot of out here in our league, there's 7 total high schools, and we had a couple kids from other schools tell our kids that they were kind of jealous about it because our stuff's really cool and fun, and theirs isn't. So some of their coaches got wind of it and started trying to copy what we do and all that kind of stuff. At the end of the day, it's all cool because everybody should be uplifting their kids.
And
one of the beautiful things about us, we tell the kids too. Now, I don't mean to hog this, but it's our team, because we have some of the best kids in the country. We have some of the best kids in the nation. We have a bright light on our program right now. We tell all of our kids, hey, this is a great opportunity for all of you to do well in these, get noticed, etc. But we're also going to be posting stuff that you do as well, again, to help you, because you can be a freshman and make a good impression, and the coach can write that down. He's got to show social, start following you, all that kind of stuff. It just builds on goodness on goodness on goodness. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to highlight everything good about our program, our kids, our school, and just lift everybody up.
And in addition to that, too, we really try to tell our kids to post more about what they do. Post that you're a track and field athlete. You can still post that you got some drip and you got the new J's, and you out here hanging out and all of that. But your food posts and all of that. But still, you have to at least present yourself as a track and field athlete. Show coaches your personality. Give them a better sense of who you are as a human being and what you're doing. For instance, last year and this upcoming year, we're doing a Children's Hunger Fund event where we're packaging food for the less fortunate and things like that. We do that every year now, and let them know that you're a part of a program that does that. And show that's part of your personality, giving back. And so it's not all about trying to be popular at school and wearing the best clothes and posting pictures with your dude or your girl or whatever the case may be. It's more about showing your personality, that you're multi-talented and you have your hands in here and you're doing this. You're part of ASB, you're ASB president, you're part of BSU at the school or whatever type of committee or whatever that you're part of at school. Show your personality. Let a coach know who you are before they even step at your door, before they meet you.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to look at your times and be like, you know what, I like this person. I want them to be part of my team, and I want to give them an opportunity to help my program culture grow. And that's what we're really trying to do with these young men and women.
Yeah, you're right. That social media is important, and I always preach. I made a post the other day. You're a junior or you're a senior. If you're a junior or a senior, you need to be DMing coaches, emailing coaches throughout the week. You need to, because don't wait and just think a coach is gonna find you before you graduate.
Right.
Because it's some of these schools, some of these coaches at the colleges, they get about 100 emails a day.
Right.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be able to stand out. You're gonna have to show interest in the school, and you're gonna have to pretty much convince that coach you are interested in the school and you're not just really just talking.
Right.
So yeah, you're exactly right. And that social media, don't be on there with your name, Too Fly Freddy. Put your real name on there. Right. Put some track stuff over there. Put some track, because the coach is gonna want to see it. They're gonna want to see it, especially.
They take a lot of time putting together all them TikToks.
Yeah.
You go ahead and DM that coach. Like, it don't take nothing. Just same thing. All this TikToking and all of that.
Yeah. They will be surprised the response they would get. They'd be like, "Whoa, they actually said something back to me,"
Right.
And it's going to take that, especially with the COVID that went on. A lot of coaches, they're using social media now, man, more than they were, and it's a big deal right now. And a lot of kids, they're getting recruited.
It's so much easier for them to respond to that too.
Yeah, no doubt. Let's see here. Is it more important to y'all to get big jumps and fast times as a freshman or as a junior or a senior?
I'll say this. I'll talk about. I want to relate it to COVID, and then I'll let you guys. So I won't necessarily put that directly, but I will say. I think most people say junior, senior. However, with COVID, because there was no season in 2020, and so the people that were graduating in 2020, a lot of them, the ones who got the scholarship, who were first to get scholarship offers, or not 21, sorry, people that graduated in 21, because they didn't have a junior season, right? And so there were some people that had some really good marks as sophomores, and they got those scholarships first. But I would say that's the rarity. Like, obviously, COVID 2020, that was an anomaly, which we hope never happens again when the world shuts down. But I would say it's more important as a junior, senior. But you want to speak directly on that?
Yeah, I think it's nice to get those early marks, and it certainly can give you a rough idea. There's nothing guaranteed, but it gives you a rough idea where that kid could potentially go with whatever that event is. But you want to look to see what that athlete's doing or what they have done to get that mark. If they're doing all the right things, their form and technique is really good, we get excited as coaches and we're like, hey, this kid's going to really do all that. But later down the road, if they need to work on some things and they haven't, then all of a sudden you're wondering, why didn't this kid get a whole lot better? So you got to look at not just the mark, but where they're at and what they need to work on to get better. And ideally, if you're looking at that kid going to college, most college coaches are going to, I think, want to see what they've done. What have you done for me lately?
Yeah.
Early on's good, but it's not a guarantee. And then you start throwing in factors like, some athletes, develop different. Guys develop different, obviously, than the girls. And, there's changes that take place within each athlete and how they've trained up until that point. So I personally like to see those marks later, but I'm looking early. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's going to mean more to me. And if I were, again, that college coach looking for that athlete, it'll mean a little bit more to me later, like down the road.
Okay.
I believe like also it really depends on who the athlete is, what their training life as an athlete is. If they've been an athlete, say a youth athlete that's been at it for years, you'd like to have them have some pretty solid success coming into high school and just grow from there, continue to make progress and huge jumps. And then, we as coaches get more aggressive with the training. Okay, they handled this. All right, we're going to push more here and there and try to get more out of them. But then if you have another athlete that has a really good surprising mark that hasn't had many years of training, but then you say, you know what, you still want to bring them along slowly because there's still some mechanical things that are missing, which will then make their marks even more substantial because they've had some gaps in training and in the sport and things like that. And it's also, it really depends on how long the season is too. If some athletes may not have the ability to go from an indoor season all the way throughout the outdoor season or through the summer, so it really depends on, where you start that early success for each athlete. So it may be, I just believe that in the beginning, say their freshman and sophomore year, if you're able to see what that potential is, we as coaches can, whip up the better programming for that athlete specifically or that training group to be most successful. I'd like to see it a little bit earlier. But I think for the athlete, as long as you're continuing to show progress, you're on the right track.
Yeah. I would say that too. I don't think I can tell if I was a coach, tell an athlete when to run fast or when to jump far. If you could do it, do it. Whether you're a freshman or a senior.
You don't get so many opportunities and so many races, so many jumps. And so in a lifetime or in the sport. So if you have that opportunity to make it happen, do it.
I would say it's almost like a trick question because, of course, you would love to see him go crazy as a freshman or sophomore, but then you want them to do even better as a junior senior. Like, okay, we did
right.
Yeah. So you just want to see them keep developing. But with regards to that, it's like, if for the ones who want to continue to be athletes in college, we definitely want to help them develop, get stronger, get better, and have the opportunity to go to college and compete at a high level. Not just go to college and compete, but compete at a high level and be a contributor on the team.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a big part of it too is, like you say, it depends on the athlete. I mean, you got some that come in freshman year, they might be able to hold it all the way to the end of their senior year. You got some, it's kind of, they performing good, but they not at the top level that freshman and sophomore year. And they just go crazy. They junior and senior year, It just depends on the athlete. So jump, as far as jump, triple jump, and long jump, what's the most important step for the jumpers when they get ready to jump? Is the approach, or is it the landing, or what's the most important step, or is all of them important?
Well, you certainly can't do one without the other. I use a phrase often in practice that you're a sprinter first and you're a jumper second. And it's not literally that, but in some ways it is, in the sense that getting your mark and approaching that board, if that's not down, it doesn't matter what you do after that. And I mean, how many times have we coached kids and they've said, Coach, I really got a great jump. It was the furthest jump I ever got, but I was just that much over the board. It's like, yeah, and no one's going to ever know it other than you, because it wasn't counted. If you scratched or you went over a little, it doesn't matter. So you've got to get that approach down, because if you're not going to get that consistent run up to the board, or if you're not going to hit the board regularly, where it's a legal jump, you can jump 30 feet out after that board. It ain't going to matter.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it really is important to get that approach down. And then after that, we work on, like you say, the knee drive, the arm drive, get the landing, work your core to keep the feet up, all that good stuff.
Nice. Man, y'all, so I want to keep y'all to the show longer. I just got a couple more questions. I'll let y'all get out of here. But this is some good information. This is good information y'all giving us. So for a hurdler, so does the athlete have to be a sprinter first, transition into a hurdler, or a hurdler first, and y'all work on speed development to get them up there with the speed?
I believe it really depends on the athlete. If they've had hurdle experience, I believe they're already ahead of the sprinters technically because they already know what to do. They have that technique. They have the ability to hurdle. They've done it before. But however, being a sprinter first, that mentality has to be kind of driven into that hurdler because they need to have that confidence that they're going to go through the hurdle and not over the hurdle efficiently, and if they have any type of error or whatever, they need to maintain the sprint speed. They can't just stop. They can't just like, oh, okay, well, I'm all messed up. No, you still need to be a sprinter through the hurdles, not a hurdler sprinting. Like they have to go through the hurdle. So that's one of the things that we really try to talk about in regards to the hurdlers. Most of the time, the hurdlers are what we talked earlier in regards to being a second-tier sprinter. But if you have a sprinter-first mindset in a hurdler that has that technique and that mindset to run through the hurdles, every hurdle, it's more of an asset to that athlete and to the program.
Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
I was looking recently, like I like to follow the high school, like the seniors, everyone who's getting recruited, when they go on their visits and all that kind of stuff, like I can see where they are, who they are, what kind of times they've done. And I've noticed that, like with a lot of the hurdlers, they might have, like for 100 meter, they might have decent time. It may be like mid to high 12, which isn't really elite for like one of the top kids in the country. But with those hurdles, they might be running 14s, and it's like now that they're rolling. And I've recently just noticed that a lot, like just following these kids. So it's like, yeah, you can definitely be a very elite hurdler, but not be the fastest kid in the 100.
Yeah.
Talking about girls with regards to the times, but yeah.
And then actually, on the high school level, depending on the availability to hurdle at times, I really don't believe we as a whole do as much hurdling techniques and stuff like that as we can. So I think from a high school coach perspective, we focus more on the speed than the technique. But when the kids get to the next level, they're able to get more polished there. So it's really more about like us, not saying that we can't do it, but it's just it's harder to find that time to focus so much more on the technique outside of getting outside training, which we discussed, which is fine as long as we're communicating things like that. Especially in those specialty events, I believe that side training is very beneficial to a high school athlete and working around the high school program. But as far as the hurdles, that speed that they need through the hurdles is a necessity. Like that is number one. And then we can start working on that and polishing, the hurdle capacity and the times coming down.
So is it safe to say that hurdlers are sprinters?
Absolutely.
I would say so.
Absolutely.
I would say so.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they
all day.
Man, they be flying over them hurdles. It's crazy. It is crazy. So y'all have a national recognized program. How tough was that getting that together and getting it figured out? I know y'all had a lot of walls y'all had to knock down, and how tough was it?
Well, yeah, you put it all together over the last few years.
I mean, honestly, I don't believe we're done yet. I don't believe we're a finished product. I think there's still programs within, our state that are, they have that perennial success and things like that. But I believe we're in the conversation, and I believe that we should be respected as they are, as we respect them. But you know what? It's awesome. Before I took this job, I was told like, hey, that's not the job to go get. That's not the one. You're working with primarily more diverse athletes and things like that, more Hispanic and African American athletes, and it's hard to work with. Well, not me. Like, you're not me. So you're not our coaching staff, and we're a diverse coaching staff as well. However, we know how to communicate and work with our student, our community, within our boundaries of student athletes, and we try to get the best out of them. But it's been tough, but honestly, it's a drive. We feel like we're not there yet, but we're hungry for more, and we're going to keep knocking on that door. And we're going to be there, no matter what, no matter how many kids graduate, no matter who comes through, what events there are, we're going to coach them up to be the best athletes they could possibly be, no matter what. And we're not going to run from nobody.
Yeah. Doing a great job. I follow y'all on social media. I see y'all posted by academics as well as the performances. Man, y'all leading the kids in a great direction, and I want to say I appreciate that. Because a lot.
Before
go
we
ahead.
move on from that,
Go ahead.
there's two things I want to add. So one, like we talked about, we had 8 events from marching the U.S. top 10, right? Additionally, Miles Split put the thing out like mid-season, towards the mid to later part of the season. They had their top programs for like the 100 meter, 200 meter, 400 meter sprint squads. And I was like, man, we're blessed to say that we were in the top 7 of all 3 of those categories in the whole U.S., which is pretty amazing. Again, this isn't a summer track team. This isn't a track club. This is just a high school, and you get what you get. But the fact that we could coach these kids up, we get them on these other national lists as a squad, and they were looking at, I believe, the top 5 or top 7 kids. So that was pretty amazing. But another thing, and you related to it, but he was saying we have a diverse coaching staff. But I want to point out one thing we're looking for right now is we're looking for a good female sprint coach. Sprints or hurdles, but our team, the girls right now, are killing it. Again, most of our nationally ranked athletes or best athletes are girls. And our girls team is killing it, but we're looking for a really high level female coach to know sort of stuff that would be a good fit for our program. And that's something we're searching for. Not just anybody, and Lonnie can talk more about that, but we're actively looking for like another good female to come join our staff.
Yeah, absolutely. I just believe that we need a more complete staff for all of our athletes. There's some things that we believe another female coach can come help contribute to our squad. And another young lady or lady to come be an ear to these young ladies that we have, out here, on our squad to deal with some of the things that we talked about, the stresses, the academics, the home life, the stress of competing on a high level program, those conversations, sometimes we can't necessarily always say everything they need to hear, but having another voice on the team from a coaching perspective or coaching level, I think it would just really send our program, over the top even more so.
Yeah, I think that's important. I think that's important to have woman coach on the track team. You know,
We
because
do have one, but our current coach, she's our pole vault coach, and she also does a great job with a lot of our boosters club stuff and all of that. But having another female would be amazing.
Yeah, yeah, and also I just tagged you on Twitter. Whenever you go back on Twitter, go to your notifications. It's going to be for Mike Cunningham because he had just tweeted. If you're looking for a coach, just tag him on it, and he's gonna retweet it or whatever. So whenever you get a chance, just go in there. You can just put whatever y'all looking for, and he'll get that out for y'all.
He's awesome. He does a lot for the coach community, and we follow his podcast as well. So
yeah, that's my guy right there. That's my guy.
Thank you.
That's my guy. So what's going on with this GV girls 4x1? What's going on there?
We're just trying to get better, every season. We lost two very valuable assets. Two very valuable assets last year. Tyler Gallion and Kylie Davis. But and we were 7 deep as far as our 4x1 last year. So we were able to rotate some of the young ladies in and out throughout the season. And we'll be able to do the same thing this year. We're looking forward to some of our newcomers, incoming freshmen, and a lot of the returners this year that have been looking good in practice and doing well in our testing. So we expect to be right there again and do very well and try to crack 45 this year. That's one of our goals. So
Let's rolling.
Trying to get after it.
Okay. And this is the last question, and we're gonna get out of here.
I'll reword that. Just so like to say,
yeah, go ahead.
44 points. That's what we trying to do. 44. We were at 45-82, trying to get even this 44-9, 44. That's very rare to do in high school.
Man, that's rolling. That is rolling. The last question before we get out of here. Is it more important to get a PR in the meet or get a medal, like a first, second, third, whatever? What do y'all think?
PR. Our goal is to get them better. Every week to hopefully get them better than they were the week prior. So now, granted, everybody likes hardware. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's about making that kid each week building on their program so that they increase their performance to some next higher level, whatever that is. In some cases, it might be kind of small or somewhat minor. Other weeks, it might be fairly significant. But it's improvement. And if they continue to do that and they continue to work hard at doing the things that they need to do to make those improvements, I'll take that every time. Winning a medal is great, but if they're winning a medal and they're running or jumping less than they did the week prior, that's really not progress to me. And I know that might be a little bold, but that's it's just not. We're here to get better, whatever that level is.
I agree. 100%.
So
what'd you think, Coach?
I believe that you should want a PR anyway. It's more likely that if you PR, you're gonna get a medal anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So you're gonna walk away with both. And our mindset is we want to go get all the medals. So if you go get all the medals at a meet, then you're likely going to PR on all those levels to get all those medals or as many medals as possible. So, but it also depends on the average athlete on your team too. Like I'm talking from a head coach standpoint, whereas like there's a lot of meets that our kids go to where they're not. Some kids feel like they're not celebrated. You know what I'm saying? So if they're able to walk away with a medal, you might get that PR at the next meet because they're getting on the post because they got a medal, or they sometimes they've never had a medal before, you know. So it may be encouraging for them to go work harder the next week, and we get more out of them going forward throughout the rest of the season. So it really depends on who the athlete is on your team, what event they do, and the long game for that athlete, you know. So I like to say, hey, we're going to play the long game with this athlete. This athlete X is a project. 2 years from now, we're going to have he or her as a league finalist or whatever that's going to go to CIF prelims. But he or her getting that medal as a freshman is just going to mean the most to them now, and then we're going to get our bang for our buck 2 years from now. Mm-hmm. Whereas that kid is going to be the example for the next group of freshmen and sophomores, you know. So it really just depends. But
yeah,
well, yes, we want all the PRs, we want all the medals, we want to be as aggressive.
We want all of it.
But it really depends on who that athlete is.
Yeah. That's a tough question, man. I would say, yeah, I'm one of those. Yeah, I'm a dad, track dad, and yeah, I want the PR. But is she gonna PR every meet? No, they're not gonna PR every meet. Sometimes they're gonna win. They might win first, but they might win first to get a medal, but not a PR. You know, but PR is more important to me than a medal. You know,
right?
And when you get to that higher stage, like you said, Coach. If you PR, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna have a medal too, you know, because you run it fast, you know. So but thank y'all for those answers. So we're gonna get out of here. Give us your y'all have any shout outs, give me your social media handles as well.
Well, before we do that, I wanna
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to acknowledge Coach Ron. You know, he joined our team last year. It's like we had to drop a little dead weight, but in return, we got Coach Ron, and it's been like an awesome blessing to have him with our team. And like I said, he helped get 3 of our kids, you know, on the top 10 list in the horizontal jump. So it's been awesome to have him. So just want to recognize him and shout him.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can do that. Doesn't hurt when you have some good talent.
I say acknowledge the kids.
You know what? I'd like to acknowledge all of our parents and our administration for supporting our program, our community, our Golden Valley community, even extended community with coaches that I like to say coaches that we're cool with, because you know, coaching is interesting sometimes when you go to meets, and everybody's not your friend, but there are several that really look out for us, and we look out for them, and it's genuine relationships that we have with them. And you know, any of our sponsors and booster club that contribute to our success and our forward movement in regards to building our program, very thankful and grateful for them, and all of our athletes who show up and are willing to be coached, coached hard and coached through whatever they may be going through, So, and my coaching staff, they push the line in regards to doing everything that I asked of them, in addition to fall training and winter and summer and spring. And, it's not a whole lot of pay in this, and they do everything they do for these kids, and they're an extension of me and the culture that and the vision that I have for this program, and they only help make it better. So I'm very appreciative of them, and including you, bringing this platform to us and being available to all, youth, track and field, and high school and elite athletes and things like that. Track and field is not always looked at and considered the sexy sport. And, the fact that you're taking your time to do this and have a love and a passion to be able to talk and sit with us on a Saturday, it's pretty cool, and I appreciate it, and keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate it. I appreciate y'all's support.
Yes,
like I say, track and field, we don't get a lot of publicity,
Right.
And then we tend to be overlooked sometimes. And like I said, this is why I created this. This is why I created this, for y'all to come on here, show some love to your school, your program, athletes, whatever, and it's been going pretty well. It's been going pretty well so far, and I thank y'all for the support.
We've been seeing it grow.
Yeah.
We thank you for reaching across state lines.
Right.
California.
Oh, hey, TexasTrackDad worldwide, baby. I'm worldwide.
Worldwide.
Yeah. No problem at all. Because like I say, it's great athletes and coaches everywhere, man. Not just in Texas. No, it is everywhere. Well, what are y'all social media handles?
Well, the Run GV Grizz on Twitter and on Instagram, Run GV Grizz, and then my Instagram and Twitter is Coach Lonnie D on Instagram and Twitter, Coach Lonnie D, and then we also have
so GV Jumps on Instagram and Twitter, and what the Run GV Grizz is Grizz with 2 Z's, but it'll probably pop up when you type a little bit of it in there.
Okay. Are y'all putting on a meet this year? Do y'all want to shout that out? Are y'all actually doing a
so we have 2 all-comers meets this year. Last year we hosted one in January. So this year we have one December 17th, another on January 21st, and then we'll be hosting our first Golden Valley Grizzlies relays on March 4th. And then we'll have our second annual Frost-Off Championships. It's called the Los Angeles County Frost-Off Championships. That will be on April 29th.
Give me the details of the December one. Because it's different.
The details on the December one is more holiday themed. It will really be very what is it called? Gold. Well, it's a holiday themed all-comers meet, but they really try to bridge the gap for our cross-country athletes and our track athletes, and it's more of a relay-based all-comers meet where you really don't want to show too much from your cross-country athletes in regards to their form, so in regards to their conditioning. So we're going to do more of a event where it's for a lot of 4x8, 4x16, 4x4s, 4x2s for the sprinters, things like that, where we're really kind of seeing where they are, where the coaches can get their splits and things like that. It's more of a festive event,
that's what
and stuff like that. So it's a little different all-comers setting than your typical, standard indoor all-comers meet events. So it's going to be pretty fun. And that's December 17th.
Yeah, go ahead.
The ugly sweater thing too. Like you've left it. That's the funnest part. It's like an
ugly sweater, 1,600 meter run.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Part 2 of it. So it's really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool.
Nice. But I just want to thank y'all for coming on the show, and thank y'all for y'all going to get my 100-meter time down where it needs to be, so I can go to the mouth.
Got you.
So I can go to the Masters, I'm joking, guys.
We might have to make you a thrower.
Yeah. I might have to trade. Yeah.
Another project, huh?
Yeah. We may have to do that because it ain't gonna be good. It ain't gonna be good at that 100. I'm telling you. But hey, guys, thank y'all for coming on the show. Thank you for the support. Tag me on your stuff on social media. I get it out, and I just want to say, y'all keep up the good work. Y'all have anything else before we get out of here?
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching the show. Go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Smash that subscribe button. You can go to Facebook. You can go to Instagram. You can go to Twitter. Also follow me as well. I'm also on LinkedIn as well. Hey guys, thanks again. Thanks for the support, and we'll catch y'all later.
You got it.
Yeah.
Have a good one.